Hello and good evening, Cosmic Explorers, and welcome to Friday.
Hooray!
Friday. And, it's Friday, and, we're always full of surprises, full of good energy, a lot of love. And, we've been in reminiscent of our beautiful, amazing co-creatrix. But Megan has been doing an amazing job filling in, don't you think, guys? If you just give a thumbs up or a smile or a like or a share, whatever. But we have our darling co-creators back with us this evening, Miss Rebecka Gregory. Welcome back!
Yay!
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Hello. I
Bex.
am back. I am back. Megan, thank you so much for jumping in and I've been watching you. It looks like you've been having a really fun time. So we might have to keep you. Maybe the show.
Oh, well, you were never going to get rid of me that
I
easily
know.
anyway.
I know.
Well, who knows what the future is hold? It could be from the two of us to the three of us.
Yes.
I,
Who
I,
knows?
you're very welcome. Thank you. It's been so awesome to just be chatting and sharing and remembering and considering and learning and growing and reasoning with the community and with Hillis. And so I thank you for thinking of me. And it's amazing to have you back. And however it flowers in the future will be amazing. And I look forward to it.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But as you know, there's been an amazing celestial event that happened today, and it just threw everybody for a loop. But in honor of Rebecca's return this evening, she has a little story to tell now, don't you, Rebecca?
I do. I always have a story. I've had a lot of stories happening while I've gone, but I'm not going to get into all those right now. It's been quite an adventure, really. Let me tell you. But no, I just want to know. I'm just tapped in earlier today, and I guess today is Crazy Sunday. That completes a rare
Woo!
magnetic reversal. So the sun has successfully undergone an incredible rare magnetic polarity reversal. Holy shit, people! So on top of that. I got some new cards while I was away. The new Dreamweavers by Colette Baron Reed. They're really cool and fun and funky, and I love them. So I drew a card because I always got to draw cards. So look what I drew. Ah, and it says, "When the weavers built the sun." Go figure. So it all comes together talking about. So I'm just going to read just a little teeny insert about the beginning because I think it's really good. So it just when the weavers built the sun, legend has it that when the weavers built the sun, they created a huge ball of fire so they could see all the miraculous things they wove into being. They needed light and more life force energy to flood our world so life could grow and flourish. Their big dream didn't exist before they imagined what it could be. They made it up as they went along with no plans to follow nor certainty about how to do it. They claimed it energetically and followed the prompt of the conscious universe, their partner. They made an impossible thing real.
I love that.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I thought I'd share that because it's so what's happening right now in our world.
Yeah,
Like
it
so what
is.
happens. So it's so cool how this reversed. It's like almost that newness coming in, that new creation we've all been talking about. It's like the sun's like, okay, I reversed, guys. Time to start over.
Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing because not only are the weavers weaving with their knowledge and wisdom, they are also teaching us how to connect to this energy. And I think this is a beautiful way to start this week's show in honor of what we were talking about last week. So if you guys missed last week's episode, go back and watch that because there was a lot of can't miss juicy wisdom that flowed that led us to the end of the show, which is the beginning of this show, which where I asked Megan last week, what would the world be like if there were no teachers? And when I mean teachers, meaning in the sense that we know now, in the sense of, we always have someone to look to. We always have, a teacher or a leader like Deepak Chopra or Marianne Williamson or Neil Donald Walsh or Bruce Lipton, some of our favorites. um, if we didn't have like the human teachers, and so what would that look like, you guys? I mean, it's just a lot to really think about. If we didn't have those that presence, and what prompted that, and give you guys a little extra time to think. What prompted this was this knowledge that I received about this experiment, where there was one planet that has two planets, two different experiments. One planet had the teachers, guides, and they didn't grow or flourish as quickly because of the guidance and of the teachers and their influence and how things were or how things should be. And then there was another planet that didn't have any teachers, and they accelerated. They grew much quicker, and their growth was just phenomenal. And the combination of those two experiments created what we know as the School of Earth. And so, take it from there, ladies.
Go ahead, Megan.
If okay,
If you
so
have something to say, if not, I can go.
full authenticity. To think of a world without teachers, it makes me feel anxiety. It makes me feel anxious. It makes me feel I just, and probably because my lived experience has so many teachers in it that have really, I mean, the way they've seen me and my potential and my abilities before I saw myself, even, is just was so valuable and continues to and will forever be so valuable in my personal evolution. And so my lived experience is hard for me to imagine outside of that. But I could see potentially what this experiment and the mood that you're speaking of, Hillis, where I can see the value in not having to battle all of the things that are external to us, and in weeding out what is a good teaching, who is a good teacher, who deserves to be learned from, and so on and so forth. If we just saw it here, which is
Yeah.
ultimately where all answers are and lie.
Yeah.
So I get it, but practically, ooh, I'm like, no teachers, no Yeshua, like, oh, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, when you talk about here, it's also, the guidance of parents and who are the parents, and so in that regard too, it's almost, everything that we learned from those before.
Mhm.
So, Rebecca, I know you have a lot to say about this.
Shoo, where do I start? It's been a long time since I talked here. Okay. So, I guess getting back to the roots of things in the beginning of everything, talking about Hillis, just like you were saying, like the domestication of what we learned from others, from our past, from our ancestors, been like leveled down. So we had the situation, where there were no teachers. One, so you have to ask the question: would we, in that situation, be able to co-create better? Would the world that we live in today, that is so judgmental and competitive, and this, all those things that we live with, that we are trying to move away from, would that take all those barriers down? Where we would be able to co-create together and not like judge ourselves how somebody else is, because we're all on even a playing field.
Yeah.
And that energy of what we are can come together to multiple worlds. So your concept, or your vision and what you had, is it truly what we're talking about right now, is the opening of what actually is happening in our world right now?
Yeah.
In some
Mm.
aspects, there's still teachers, I'm not saying that, but there's more individuality coming out right now, where people are moving away from looking at the teachers of the world fully and completely, and questioning some of the teachings, because a lot of teachings are based upon things that have been passed down from their own belief systems, from their own experiences,
Right.
from all that. And sometimes we can pick up on things that might not be the highest for us, but because they're a teacher, oh my gosh, we got to follow it. And how
Right.
many teachers out there today are putting that image in, and putting that into people, brainwashing them to think the way they do. And people are following these people instead of into that individuality
Yeah.
and
It's
stepping away to think and be and find their truth of who they are. And that's what I
yeah.
got.
Yeah. It's like you're instilling the left and right, and right
Mhm.
is wrong and wrong is right, and all this other stuff. This whole in the internal competitiveness. And as I sit here and listen and value each of your opinions in this, and so what I want to do now is I want to create this picture of what potentially had occurred, if you will. And so you have a being that came into existence, and this being was like, okay, I'm here. What do I do? What do I create? And so they begin to expand in their breath and grow in the space of consciousness. And in this birth of expansion of consciousness, that in itself became a teacher in itself, in the self awareness, the self expansion. And so then it got to a point where it's like, okay, well, I learned all that I can learn of myself, eons of just doing and creating. It's like I seek someone else to learn from or seek to have someone else's experience in this. And so this was another creation of another being to have this existence, to have this experience of a different perspective. And so the teaching that we often get labeled with is the indoctrination, as Rebecka talked about, the indoctrination of rules, regulations, the do's, the don'ts, the this, the that. That's the teaching that we've been so indoctrinated with that is just became second nature to associate that kind of teaching with a teacher or, dare I say it, a master. I don't think so. Or even with some of the modern spiritual teachings. It is in that to where a good teacher will always leave you to a space of within yourself. So
Mhm.
the world is never truly without teachers. Heck, we have medicine teachers, we have plant teachers, we have, nature as a teacher. We have all these amazing teachers that we don't think as teachers because they just are, they just exist. And if we look deep enough, we can see it. And I like what
Yeah, as I was
Green
saying, you
Man
want to play
is that
some
what Green Man
comments
is
up.
saying here. Yeah. What Green Man is saying, a good teacher is not teaching at all, but it's showing you the many options you have alone to have to decide with what's resonating the most with you. Exactly. And so also with what Susie is saying here too, which I love as well, exploring is fundamental for
Mhm.
growth. It's good to cross paths with those who have knowledge, but it's important to always use discernment. Rebecca's favorite word, discernment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I was told the other day that I have to go another level of discernment. So yes, I'm going to be the master of discernment. So
I love it. And the thing is, with all of this, it's the world is never without teachers. It's always the presence of what we feel, because we are our own teachers. It's in the
yeah.
essence of what we truly feel and what we're being truly guided to allow us to learn from and to be held in that space as we fill our cup with knowledge, to fill our energy with the proper knowledge that turns into wisdom, because knowledge is just the not wisdom is only knowledge turned experience,
Hmm.
and so it's just in that space. So yeah, long story short, people, we're never without teachers. It's just finding the teachers that resonate with you, that don't indoctrinate you with their own teaching, saying, slap you on your hand when something is, I have the nuns hit you on your knuckles when something's wrong. I'm like, no.
Well, if you look at it, everybody on this planet is a teacher because we're all here to experience the growth of who we are
Yeah,
and our expression and
exactly.
how we express that into the world. So we all learn from each other in the co creation. So every single person on this planet is a teacher. And then it's once again going back to my favorite word, it's discerning what's right and the truth for you with what you're looking at, what other people are expressing out, and what's not being expressed out that doesn't sit with you. It's like that's not for me, and to know the difference.
Exactly. And so, Megan, does that kind of
Yeah.
ease your anxiety just a little bit?
It does.
It really
It, yeah, it does. I'm like, okay, cool. We don't like, we're not fully taking out teachers, right? Even though, like we're
No.
Wait,
saying,
wait,
I
wait. I
know,
like
I
how
know
you
that that's
said that.
impossible.
I like you. We're not fully taking them out like we're taking teachers in the back
Did you
and
think we were
beating them
taking
up
all
or
the
beating them
teachers out,
down.
Megan?
I
Wiping them
was,
off the face of the earth?
I was worried. I was like, no, I will fight for my teachers. Yeah,
No.
no, that
Love
does
it.
ease my anxieties, and also, I love the coming up of the discernment, because like there's so much to learn from, but like we're saying, not everything and not everyone is to be learned from.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And receiving knowledge is receiving energy, right? And so I think sometimes we can forget that because we transmit so much knowledge and we have
Hmm.
all of the knowledge we could possibly want and every question answered right here. um, but the transmission of knowledge and wisdom is a transmission of energy, and so I feel like it's really important, just as you would discern who you're keeping in your energetic field and your life and close relationships with and so on, like where are you getting your knowledge from, who are you receiving it from?
Hmm.
yeah.
Exactly. And I
Mm-hmm.
think all three of us have had experiences where we've been in situations where we didn't listen and got ourselves in a little bit of a gaboggle, you know? Toot, toot.
Yes,
Bit of
Anyhow,
a pickle. I
exactly.
love a good pickle to learn my lessons the
and,
hard way.
and yeah, and that's what it is. It's to learn, you know? And then, yeah, it's
You
just
know,
never ending cycle.
I'm over the pickles. I am.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy, and I'm just going to keep saying it till the whole world is doing it with me. I just enjoy having mushroom journeys. I really do. There's so much to learn about yourself in those like 2, 3, 6, 8 hours that you're in your own personal journey. There's so much, especially when you make a choice or when you have a decision. It's like I want to understand more about X, or I just want to understand more about this, and you spend that time fully dedicated in that moment, immersed in this. I'm trying to find the word, in this accelerated school of learning, in this accelerated mastery school. And what I found fascinating, as I watched documentaries, read books here and there, that the Tower of Babel and the Machu Picchu and all these other places, these sacred sites, they were all mystery schools. They call them mystery schools now, but we all know they were just regular schools teaching us how to do things that are otherworldly. Well, what we would consider otherworldly, but it was just natural for them. And so now we're coming back into that space to do what is natural for us as humans. Because everything that we've been doing up to this point has been really fighting against the natural flow of humanity.
Hmm.
Wouldn't you guys agree with that? Or not agree? I like how Rebecca's thinking about it.
Me too. I'm like,
I,
yeah, go back. So let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, come on, come on. I
bouncing
want to
it
hear it.
around, you know, it's like, yes, you know,
But then, yeah, there's
but
also that
yet we
place of
wouldn't be where we
friendship.
are today because this is all part of the master grand plan, I guess you could say, of humanity, and you know, where we've been. So would we be where we are right now if we didn't have the experience we had from the timelines of what was? So it's like, it's I totally lost my train of thought.
Basically, you're saying that the lessons
I
of
think I'm in too many different dimensions right now. I gotta come back down to
But
earth.
look, you have all that sunlight
I was just
coming
gonna
in on your
say
face.
it's the sun rays.
You
They're
started
coming
talking
through.
about, I know, I got this reversal sun blazing on me, giving me all kinds of light rays here. It has me in too many different dimensions. And you talking about the mushrooms just put me out there on a journey. So
That's all it takes.
I'm up in the astral city right now. So what do you need to know about that?
Is it pretty?
It's beautiful.
Oh,
It's a whole new world.
it's an
Oh,
amethyst cave.
it is. It is.
No, but it's just I just really am in a place of resonance and appreciation for the path that humanity has taken. Yes, it took us a little bit longer to get here because of the contrast that we lived in for such a long time. And that contrast is what was needed. But now we're in a space where we no longer have to live in contrast within anything. We have now moving into a space of being in alignment, to being in resonance with who we are and what we do. So, I mean, I think that's really important. Like you say, going back to discernment, because we first must discern what is right for us and then live in that energy of resonance.
Yeah. It's kind of like we're having a do-over. Back to the Atlantean times where they went into what they did and destroyed
Yeah.
everything and knocked every humanity out, and then it went from there. And now we're coming back around, everything's circling around. It's so funny, the sun reversed today, as I said, the other side, we're reversing. And now we're coming back into like creating humanity again.
Yeah.
And given the chance to create it from the space of love and the heart to really have the creation of everyone's dream, and
Yeah.
to move away from all that pain and suffering we so think we have to live in. And
Yeah.
that's what we're like moving into, is this beauty. Now, right now we're in the midst of like everything falling apart. So it's like crazy kukak, crazy right now. However, the humanity shift, if we can all get on board to step into that energy, to move into what we are creating together and open up to that space through the heart. Oh my gosh, this world
Yeah.
is just going to be absolutely just gorgeous
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
flowing and loving and caring,
Yeah.
and just not the destruction it is. But we have to go through this. We're,
Yeah.
right now, until we move through it. What do you
No.
think, Megan? Megan's got that.
Yeah, I know. Come on, Megan.
There's a lot going on. So I
Are
think
you in the
about
multi-dimensional world now too?
I am, yeah. I am for sure.
I
It's
love
been an unusual. The feels of the past several days have been very unusual. I feel the creation of new space
Mhm.
and the going forward of things. I think of many things. I think of one, Claudia, our combo teacher, who was the first person that introduced me to the term ecotopia. Which is this merging of like technology and nature and this utopian type space. And I'm not a total cynic, my Virgo runs strong, but certainly I do have hope. I hope that we can create that. But then I also think of, for example, someone who I resonate with deeply, Matthias DeStefano, who many of y'all may or may not be familiar with, and listening to many of his interviews and his shows, right? Like, he's once asked, like, so what happens, like, do we get to this like utopia space on Earth again? And he's like pretty confidently like, no, that's not what this is for. This is a learning planet and a teaching planet and a university. And so like it can't be without these aspects of these shadows and the light dark duality, yin yang of it all. And so we may not get that fully. And I'm sitting
Not in
here.
our lifetime, no.
No, not in our life.
Yeah, certainly not. I don't think in our lifetime. And so, yeah, that's an interesting. As I hear what you're saying, Bex, I'm like, there's like that dual space of like, yay, and then also like, we're gonna get down.
Well, I wanna hop in here because this has been something that has been in my vision of what is occurring. Is that this is the first time in humanity, in any civilization, where there is, and this is happening simultaneously, where there is destruction and a rebirth happening at the same time.
Mhm.
Never happened in any other civilization but ours. And so you have to understand that they're both controlled in the energy in which they are born with and die with. And so as one is coming down, the other one is rising. And so we're not even at the halfway point with this. We're still in the beginning stages of this. And with us really understanding the beginning of this, is just going to become easier and easier to allow for the birth of this new. And one of the things a vision I've been having for a while, and this is how I know this is not going to happen in our lifetime. I would love for it to happen in my lifetime. Maybe I might extend my life and want to live to 120, 150 years old. We'll see. Um, but I've the past few weeks, I've been having this vision of me walking down the street of what you will call this ecotopia, where everything is harmony, everything is in balance. There's a lot of nature, but there's nature merged in everything that we have. Nature's just all around us. And yes, this is a learning school, but now is the time for us to learn differently and not from the space of the old, of the contrast or the shadows or any of that, because that learning is over. That learning has only stalled out our accelerated path that we are now going to be projected on to. So it is in that way, in that respect, that the shifting of how we learn is going to be different, and the teachers all around us are going to change. And so it is those teachers, not just in nature, but also in humanity. It is when those teachers come to the surface. I'm one of them. We all are those teachers that uh, things are going to be at a different way.
Like me? I'm one of those
Yeah, you
teachers.
wouldn't be sitting here if you weren't.
Because I'm over here like, cool, yeah, I hope, but where'd all those shadows gonna go? Like, yeah, that's such a beautiful thought to me. But I
All the
don't.
shadows are being reversed.
Yeah, like I'm like I don't know. I don't know cellularly. I don't know human history without like shadow and this other aspect of humanity. That seems to be half of the experience in ways. So yeah, I do hold that light and that hope, but I guess, yeah, I guess there's something to sit with there deeper. And that was a cute moment for me. I was like, huh, me? Like, one of these teachers too?
Yeah. And thinking about that, if you look at the duality, everything we're moving into, everything moving out of the polarity into the oneness of everything. So are those shadows, and in the aspects of being in the human school and the universal school, and so that could just be shifting the way we learn. Now, as far as what I'm feeling is like, as far as the shadows and what everything, they're always kind of exist, but we have to learn how to walk with them in a different way, because they are part of our experience here. How just like learning, as we're growing and learning right now, moving into the different dimensions of who we are,
Yeah.
those levels are hearing off where we are able to process things that happen to us easier, are able to let go of things that are easier as part of our experience of growth and learning. Yet those experiences and those stories, are always there. So that container is always there. That shadow container is always floating around.
Mhm.
However, we've learned, as we grow and learn, we'll learn how to be allies with them, that we can just kind of co-mingle with them together in a different light.
This
And there you
this
have
is
it.
That's
great.
my point of view, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There you have it.
Yeah. This is great in selfishly. This is great. A great conversation. There's a lot for me to reflect on in terms of like, I'm traveling, and I've been thus far. It's been somewhat of an ancestral journey. I was with my grandmother last week for the show. I'm at my grandmother's.
Mhm.
This week I'm with my mother. I'm I've gotten a lot of information about being much more being attuned in physicality and in aura and energy to some divine masculine figures from some parts of my family that otherwise
Mhm.
I didn't resonate with in ways. And
Mhm.
so that felt hard for me because there's shadowy things there to sit with. And so this macrocosm of conversation is very applicable to like my microcosm of me.
Yes.
So how about we do this? Because that word, is prevalent in a lot of spiritual teachings. The shadow, right? And the shadow has this bad rep, if you will.
Bad
This
PR.
dark force, huh?
Are we coming up with a new word for shadow?
No, no, no. We're not coming up. Just the understanding of the shadow. It's you know how I do. I just pull stuff and it just comes to me.
I know.
I'm that
Well, let's
magician.
see what Katrina said.
Oh yeah. What Christine? Wait. Dimensions is the
When we were
key.
talking about the shadow and everything.
Yeah, because it is. Because when you are in the space and the literal dimension, no space of it, it is just us recognizing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So just look at it. What did we start this conversation about? Teachers.
Teachers.
What is
Yeah,
the shadow? Our teacher.
exactly. Yeah.
Ta-da!
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
ta-da. Yeah, you know me. I'm gonna have this really galactic way of explaining it, and now you have this like real earthly way of explaining it.
Our best teachers. I have a part of one of my prayers, thank you for my pain, for pain is grace. Thank you for my fear, for being my greatest teacher.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
so easy to forget though, because we just like, we just hate our fears and our blockages and
Well,
our
because that's what we were
resistances.
taught.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We were taught all of it. We was taught to have shame of our fear. We were taught to have shame of our shadows. We were taught to have shame of our guilt. We were taught to have shame of our sexual desires. We were taught to have shame if we didn't have enough money. We were taught to have shame on so many levels of our existence that all this shame became the weight of our shadow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when you look at the different parts of the shadow or the teacher or different aspects of who you are, it's really understanding how to integrate these aspects of who you think you are, but not feel. So we have
Yeah.
to allow the shadow to feel who we are, to know who we are. This is why when we do these little journeys and these discussions, it's really nice to travel in that space of really understanding the shadow and allowing the shadow to be the teacher of these many aspects, these many functionalities, these many experiences that drive us, that motivate us, that make us hungry to learn, to want to learn more, to be the teacher unto self, because that's ultimately what we're doing here. Will ultimately become the teacher unto self, but sometimes we go about it the wrong way. We go about it through viewing it through other people's perspectives and their experiences and not trusting what we have here first. We go out first and then we come in. It should be the opposite. I'm done.
Are you done? Are you sure?
No, I'm never done.
What a shame. Shame, the body part associated with shame's the butthole. Go figure.
Well, that's the first thing to ever, that's the first part of the body to be created after we are seated, in the body, right? Is the butthole.
Well, everyone thinks that like sunning your butt is like a new thing, but you go into the Taoist texts, they tell you to do that. Like it's also I feel an energetic way of illuminating this space that
Mhm.
is got bad PR for some reason, as though we don't need it and need it to be functioning well. But it's illuminating some of our shame stuff too. I only found that
Have
out
you done
recently,
that?
but thought that.
Have you done that, Megan?
Yes, I definitely have.
I've
Oh,
I've
you can.
never done it intentionally.
I would suggest it. Obviously, when we have some different skin tone things going on as well, you got to be mindful of stuff like that. But just a few minutes, front, back, bow, bow, is very energizing.
And I just want to say good night really quick to Susie, our dear friend
Night,
Susie.
Good
Susie.
night,
Night, Susie.
Susie.
Thank you.
Oh, rest well.
um, yeah, it's just all about that, and so it's all about really taking the next step of that learning or integration process
Mhm.
of dancing, and don't and honestly, it's not about partnering with the shadow. It's really about understanding the aspects of what makes your shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and I think with that, you guys have any more thoughts about that?
No,
No.
No.
Oh, okay,
I'll
good.
shout it out.
You shouted out. I'm shouted out too because it's time for the tune-up.
A tune-up? What's a tune-up? I forgot.
Been
You
waiting
have a
for you.
tuning fork.
I do have a tuning
You go
fork.
see you everyone anyone ever go to a mechanic with the energetic mechanics.
There you go.
The
Yes.
energetic mechanics. I don't even know what we're going to do today, but I want to put this comment up from Katrina. I like what she said here. Dimensions in response to ascend planet 3D Earth to get out of linear thinking and what you project, perceive, that to look or be a look and think of it in shifts of dimension as opposed to trying to perceive in third dimensional thinking point of view.
Yeah.
Exactly. 3D is so passe.
You're so funny.
Me?
That's funny. That would be like a funny bumper sticker. 3D
Yeah.
so last year.
Well, yeah, that I mean, because I just started saying that when people started doing things, just regular things, I would say to them, it's like, "Oh, that's so 3D."
Aw.
Well, it's so interesting now because we have so many people on this planet in so many different levels.
Yeah, but can you imagine walking up to somebody and say, "That's so 3D"?
I hear that as very like Mean Girls, you know, like I want to throw a toot behind that. That's so 3D.
It's so creepy.
I can see you doing that too, but in a loving way.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in my back pocket. I think the perfect moment will reveal itself. I'll
See,
let you know when I drop
Let
that
me
on
know when it
someone.
happens.
yeah, let me know what happens. I want a video too. I want to see it on Instagram or
I'll
something.
see what I can do.
Yeah, yeah, that's so 3D.
Awesome.
You heard it here first, people. That's so 3D.
You should make
Um,
t-shirts.
we should
Journals.
journals, t-shirts. We're getting merch, people.
I want one. I want a hat and a sticker.
Why not?
Oh,
Okay,
car wrap.
so we're all going to come together and make this happen. We're going to have some that so 3D merch. Why not?
There you
There we
go.
go.
I
Hey,
have
that could be the
ideas.
name of our new show too.
What?
That's so
Oh,
3D.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, if
coming.
anybody has any ideas, we're thinking of changing the name of the show to something new.
Switching it up.
And the
Upgrade.
thing is, the beauty about it is, Megan, if you stay with us, it would be so 3D in a good way.
Look
Uh,
at that. Oh, I see what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. We are the web weavers.
I love it.
so yeah, so we could talk about this later, but
Web.
you know how we do. We always get a little sidetracked and silly before the tune-up. Rebecca's been a while. We haven't gotten silly in a minute.
I know.
I know, but now it's time.
I bring the comedy in.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going, and you guys are more than welcome to join in as we do this.
What are you doing?
I'm going to do meditation to help clear and integrate shadow. That's what I was told.
Okay. I could do some sounds. Are you going to do light language with me? Yeah, I'm talking to you, Megan.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, don't be shy now. You did it like a couple of weeks ago. Don't be
Yeah.
shy.
Just okay. So just jump in when it feels right on some shadow moving light language.
Yep. Okay. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing in this infinite moment, taking a nice big deep breath as we allow for the energies as I emerge and connect to the energies of Rebecca and Megan. as we open up the energies for those watching in this infinite moment, to allow them to sit in the energy of their shadow, to sit in the energy of peace, to sit in the energy of wellness, to sit in the energy knowing that they are their best teachers, that you are your best teacher, and your shadow is the ultimate teacher as it carries all the information that you wish to not just run from, but to learn and integrate. So this way you can discern what is best for you as you allow yourself to move forward in the beginningness of this rebirth that is happening now as we allow for this uh, sun reversal energy into this space. As we invite this golden light to enter into the space, as this energy now begins to connect down through your spinal column of chakras. Allow for this energy to surge throughout the system of chakras, your auric field. Allowing the merging of these waves of light, these sunbeams, beams.
Musical. Ooh. Iso atto che non si atto non si atto si non si atto non si e potto la si non ti non si non ti non ti non si io non si che atto le che atto tutti atto che ci no poi si con tutti atto tutti con tutti con tutti che non si non ti io sto to fatto tutti atto tutti che non gli si atto che tutti non to sta tutti atto tutti ui 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 Cioè, altro, questo che dico, si fatto di non mi si dico, tanto tu di non mi si dico, non mi si dico, non di anto di si fatto, ci sta. Mi sa, fa tutto. Asa.
And just everyone allow yourself to take a deep breath in this moment, to allow for this infinite moment to connect and merge with every aspect of cell in your being, to know that the wisdom of this moment, of these sounds, of these frequencies, of these words, of this galactic energy has connected with you to assist you on your journey of being the teacher unto self. Know
Mm.
that to be the greatest lesson that you will ever receive on your journey of the school, of this university, planet Earth.
So it is.
Oh,
Oh, thank you. Wow, thank you. Bex, that was whoo, that made me a little dizzy. I had to open my
Yeah.
eyes.
Oh yeah. What happens when I have rest time?
I missed those sounds.
They've upgraded a little bit.
Oh yeah, they have. And
Oh
the
yeah.
thing is, I felt like I've
Yeah, and
like
I love
you.
Megan. You were fabulous. I love the coat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's divine dance.
That's what I love about when you do this, when we do this. It's just beautiful in itself, and how I am still learning to translate all of this. And so it's just beautiful to hear, to bring it in, to allow for the earth language to find the proper way to express the galactic words of wisdom, of acceptance, and of light.
But they're not really words, they're just vibration that we know how to speak.
Exactly. Exactly.
We're on a whole new frequency because
Yeah,
that's
yeah. So,
Mhm.
everyone, thank you for joining us this week, you
thank you.
amazing cosmic explorers.
Yes. And
And
don't limit yourself, create yourself, be the change in you.
yes, Megan, you got to come up with your own catchphrase.
I know. It's gonna hit.
Come on, girly.
I'll get there.
You,
My homework for next week.
you what?
I said my homework.
There
Yes,
you
your
go.
homework.
Next week, tune in for Megan's catchphrase.
Till next time, everyone, have an amazing night,
Thank
amazing
you so
day,
much.
amazing weekend, amazing
Love
life.
you all.
Bye, y'all. Thank
Soak
you.
up those sun rays that were coming through.